Daily Guide is giving us some insight. Look at what is on there.
Well, terminal disease means nothing. It could mean anything. Was it kidney? Was it liver? Was it BP? Was it hepatitis? It could be anything. So, yes, you say your husband didn't die through poisoning, but what killed him? That answer did not come in that interview.
Some people don't seem to see the reason why officialdom has to open up about things like this. There was some uproar in the States. I've forgotten who was it that was in the center of controversy because they didn't disclose that they had cancer. And they were going through treatment. Because the idea is that, when you're not feeling too well, you don't always make the best decisions. Am I right? If you're not in the best of health, sometimes your thinking might be compromised because you're not healthy, you are not strong. And so taxpayers also pay to take care of you.
Right.
So I think it's only right that we start to get into this culture of being more forthcoming, because what happens if you don't come out and speak is that people will infer all types of other meanings into the situation and prefer their own reasons.
And I think that yesterday's interview that was granted to Asasi Radio, that could have been settled on that matter if the wife had told us that, okay, she said, I was my husband all through. Nigel Gacy's telling lies. He's a womanizer. He's this, is that. But they still kept him as a friend. I found that as strange, because if you know that the person, you're not supposed to be yoked with somebody who is doing the direct opposite unless you're trying to convert him. And if you're trying to convert him and change him and you fail to do that, then that it also becomes suspicious. But that's just by the by. You know that your husband did not die through poisoning, but you have not told us what it is that killed your husband. You have not answered the question. You have only told us to disregard what is being said, but the reality. And I said earlier that I don't want to be part of all of this conversation, but from the way it's going, the widow is speaking.
That's right.
Whom am I?
Would you say that she's been forced to speak because of the speculation that is around the matter?
No, I think it's too early.
It's too early. Has a week even come? I'm not sure.
No, it's too early to get into some of these things. But hey, we move. Court orders E+ to retract, apologize to Hassan Zain on defamatory publications. Also, UNESCO to hold Africa and America cooperation mission in Ghana. Anti-LGBTQ plus. Government has no choice than to assent bill into law. Razak Kojo-Poku, NLA, is former APC and now NPP. I'll play a tape for you before we go. Razak Kojo-Poku and I go to phasing it off.
All right.
The New Find, the newspaper minority opts for private members bill to remove nuisance taxes. African Union Sports Council impressed with Ghana's facilities. AU sponsored 1 million next level initiative launched. Registration of farmers begin under Planting for Food and Jobs phase 2. What do you have, Helen?
I've got the Daily Guide this morning. Old Nana sparks outrage in Parliament. I believe they're referring to that face-off between the majority and minority leadership in the House of Parliament yesterday. I believe Afenyo Makin has offered some apologies for some of his unfortunate comments. Let's move on. Agric Ministry opens Planting for Food and Jobs 2.0 application. Johnny, this one will interest you. 2.0, new, fresher. You see how we have got 2.0?
They say what?
This one to PFJ 2.0.
Did you know that there was Planting for Export and Rural Development? Did you know about that?
Planting for Export and Rural Development.
They called it PED. Did you know about that?
I didn't know about that, Johnny.
So all we know about is Planting for Food and Jobs.
That's what I know.
Then there's Rearing for Food and Jobs. There's PED, Planting for Export and Rural Development. Have we finished doing an analysis of how these two fared or these three fared before introducing this one?
Even PFJ in the initial one, I'm not too sure what the stats
I'm just
are
saying
like.
that you have in project management, when you roll out a project, right, you do an analysis and then you say that, okay, this is what we're able to achieve, this is what we're not able to achieve, this is what we wanted to hit, this, you do all those things, and
That's
then
right.
you come back and say, okay, based on that, we are doing a 2.0, but the 2.0 will take this because these are the successes we chalked and these are the ones that are outstanding, so we want to devise new strategies to be able to achieve that. Have we been served with that copy?
I haven't.
So we're just throwing our money away.
PFJ
money.
2.0. It's captured on page 6 of
And
the
that's
Daily
because
Guide.
Ghanaians like sloganeering. So, yeah, we okay. Give them what they want.
Election 2024, Baumia leads Mahama in swing constituencies. Again, in page 6, if you want the full details. 200 stalls razed down in fire. This has become seemingly the norm. This is a tale as old as time. Every so often, number of stalls being razed down. We come and we talk about the issues and the solutions, and then more stalls get razed down, more market fires. Okay, so I'll save my energy a little bit this morning. But again, on the front page of the Daily Guide, my husband died of terminal disease. John Kuma's wife. Disease? It's captured in page 3. But again, I re-echo, the government officials disclosing their illnesses is important for transparency and public trust. It ensures accountability and allows the public to be informed about the health of those in leadership positions.
See, the King of England, the King of the British Empire,
King Charles,
he had traces of cancer.
That's right.
The first thing they did was to tell the public.
Yes.
Because the people will pay.
Of course.
Ours, we hide it. We had COVID. He told us he was just resting at the University of Ghana Medical Center. It took Nana Dodam Kwekufa to come and say, he's lying. He's telling lies. When you see some of these things, it's an elder statement. You have to. No. What you did was so. Forgive me. I won't say what I want to say.
Yes, and also this transparency helps avoid speculation, maintains credibility, and allows for contingency plans if the health of an official impacts their ability to perform their duties. So it's not the case that people are just concerned and people just want to be in other people's business. For some of us, this is a question of transparency. It's a question of accountability, contingency, like we see in the places that we're trying to emulate. So I rest my case on that one, only because I'd seen on social media, leave them alone. Well, the wife had come out to speak. So follow-up questions were expected or are expected.
In our traditional African culture, do you have widows speaking when their husbands have not been buried?
It's not the norm.
And this is from Ashanti land.
That's right.
So it's supposed to be, now we are told is the cradle of culture. I mean, I disagree because every tribe has its own culture. And
who is saying that?
Well, you have heard so many times it's been said. But then the point is this. What is the benefit of all this talk on radio at this time, within this short period? I don't get it, honestly. Have we thrown our values to the dogs such that what is supposed to be African and to identify us as Ghanaians? Because at this point, this is somebody that you have been with for all this while, had children with, etc. The person's gone. That pain, it should not be you talking about these things. You can elect somebody to talk about it, brief the person to go and talk about it. There's a reason, even when widows are being greeted in public, they have their cloth all over them, so you don't actually even shake hands with them. There's a reason. So why have we brought everything so
Well, lastly, the Daily Graphic before Johnny gets biting. Ofankon Swam Road Project, 100 lawsuits impede works. And the full story is on page 3. Attorney General advocates renewable energy use in schools. Implementation of PFJ 2.0, that's Planting for Food and Jobs 2.0. Farmers registration begins today. And then you have also here, it says Telecel is here on the front page.
So Telecel is what? It used to be what?
Vodafone, I believe. Vodafone now, Telecel. So in fact, if you have a Vodafone, it's changed. It's gone.
So like Ghana Telecom was sold, and now this one too has been sold.
It's sold. It's now Telecel.
And you know who sold Ghana Telecom to become Vodafone?
Who did?
President Kufuor's regime.
Oh, are you noticing a pattern here?
I'm just giving you information. What you do with that information is your business.
Okay. Yeah. I wondered if you were trying to infer from that some sort of pattern that we can deduce.
No, I'm just saying that we used to have Ghana Telecom, and then it was sold. You know, it was Ghana Post and Telecommunications. We only sold off the telecommunications and left the post. And that is what Ghana Post has become It used to be PNTO.
Yeah.
It has now become what it is there. We picked Ghana Water and Sewage Company. We sold off the water to Aquaviten's run, and then we took it back. Today, the sewage, you see the sewage that we see around?
It's taking citizens to mass up to do something about it.
So we pick up what we have. What we did not create, we pick it up, break it into two, sell one part, and chop the money and sit back and watch. We used to have Ghana Post and Telecommunications, P&T. Then we picked the telecommunications, sold it off as Vodafone. How well has Vodafone served us? And how well would Telecel serve us? How well was P&T serving us? These are fundamental questions that must be asked.
That's right.
Who are the ones behind this buy and sell? And who are the ones benefiting from it? Must we sell everything? You lived in the UK.
I did.
The original things that you went to meet in the UK, some of them still exist. They are vested still in the state.
Oh, yes.
They are not privatized.
Oh, yes.
In our case, we are wiser than God. We privatize everything. We run down our health institutions, and then when our big men are sick, they pick the plane and they fly out. You think that if we had fixed our system here, anybody would go to Germany